Lions have puck control. There's Sandler shot. He scores! Lions handed it a low driver to the left side. Sickos will have it. He scores! That'll be his first career goal as a Maverick.
Celia score! Oh, that's a crispy snipe.
After a dominating 6-0 win last night, Minnesota State returns to the home ice here in Mankato, and they get set for Game 2, looking for the sweep over UMD. It is the Mavericks and Bulldogs next on Flow Hockey TV and KEYC Circle. Good evening, Don Westfall back here in downtown Mankato for Game 2 of the series, joined tonight by former defenseman and assistant coach Darren Blue. And Darren, you were in the building last night, and the Mavericks, one of their more dominating performances. I don't use that word lightly when you hold UMD to 3 shots on goal the first half of the game. Once the Mavericks started here, and you'll see the 6 goals wrote on the replay, it was really a dominating performance.
Yeah, I just thought they got to the net. They got pucks to the net. They won battles on top of pucks, getting back. You talk about back pressure and taking it away from guys. And you know what? You get some bounces like that. You get bounces on the backside when you have people to net and goalies can't find it. Same thing there. You got Sauter taking eyes away, and goalie doesn't know where the puck is, and he can't find it in that cross-ice pass.
And then obviously the 4 power play goals. Power play really was clicking last night.
I mean, special teams, right? I mean, you never want to get the first 2 penalties of the night, and they did, and they found a way to kill those off and gain momentum from both the power play and the penalty kill last night.
So the Mavericks offensively put up the 6 goals, 6 different scores, got scoring from all 4 lines, which is fantastic. And on the other side, a guy seeing his first ever collegiate game, Alex Tracy in the nets, he gets the shutout in his first collegiate win.
He did. You know what? He didn't see a lot of rubber, but what he saw some pretty big, some pretty good shots in some tight areas, and I thought he handled himself really well. He was scored a pucks, he followed it well, and it'll be exciting to watch him progress.
And obviously the Mavericks then defensively, starts with the offensive push they had, but defensively he was getting a lot of help from the guys coming back in the zone as well.
No doubt. I think we saw some great back checks. I think Brendan Fury and Sam Morton, and just coming back hard, just the back pressure through the neutral zone, and then not stopping, getting all the way back to the house and making it hard to play against.
Quick look around the country last night. Again, a lot of non-conference action, obviously, in collegiate hockey. But, Darren, one thing that the board will tell you right now as you look at it, it's early in the season. A lot of movement as far as, the national rankings will go, and a lot of teams still looking for their identity.
No doubt. I think you see the volatility in the change, right? There's new players. I think 10 new players in the Duluth lineup. I think you see a number of players the changeover across the country, and as they're trying to figure out as coaches who plays with who, players are trying to figure out how do I play with him, and new guys are in new roles on penalty kills and power plays, and this first month of the year is always, where are we going to end up after the first month, and some of the votes and some of the things that people spend a lot of time looking at are going to change quite a bit here in the first 3 weeks.
You see the Huskies there with the win. We'll see them next weekend, but right now it's all about Bulldogs in front of this Maverick team, and that's the game we have coming up next after this break here on Flow Hockey TV and KEYC Circle. One take?
Assistant coach Paul Kirtland and goaltending coach Corey Lonke. We'd like to thank the American Legion Post 11 for presenting the colors for tonight's game. Maverick Athletics promotes support for equality, inclusivity, and social justice. We're committed to eradicating all forms of racism and discrimination. We support our student athletes, coaches, and staff who choose to use their platforms and voices to be agents of change. Join us and sing along now with the Maverick Machine as they perform a rendition of the U.S. National Anthem, Our Star-Spangled Banner.
We welcome you back to downtown Mankato. Don Westfall and Darren Blue, and it looks like a capacity crowd starting to settle in for this contest between, again, in-state rivals coming into the weekend. UMD ranked 4th in the country. Mavericks coming in ranked 5th. We just talked about that in the pregame show, Darren, that a lot of jostling right now. Some of it built off last year's finish. We know the Pioneers in Denver got beat last night, so one could expect some movement there. And Maverick fans and a lot of people around the country who pay a lot of attention to that stuff early on. We don't even talk about pairwise here until we get a lot closer to Christmas, but those rankings is something to talk about. And
there's
again,
no doubt. No doubt there's a, you know what creates the excitement in the game, right? Who beat who, and it doesn't matter what sport you're talking about. There's something in the, something to be said about what other people are saying about you, right? So
indeed.
Everybody's taking a look and seeing what's happening. And
it's nice to be part of the discussion.
No,
was not always the case here in Mankato. So.
No, I've had a few years where
yes.
I wish we were part of the discussion, right? In my time coaching here at MSU, but it's been fun the last few years.
It's been an awesome ride so far with Coach Hastings in the group. As Mavericks get set to go here, hoping to improve upon that ranking. Again, they're at St. Cloud next weekend to take on the Huskies. Both coaches electing to go back to the starting goaltenders from last night, so you just saw that. Zach Stayskal in the nets for UMD, and for the Mavericks, the winner last night, first ever collegiate game, got the win, got the shutout. Alex Tracy back between the pipes for Minnesota State. Glad you're with us here on Flow Hockey, as well as KYC Circle, and of course also watching this weekend. We know we have a number of fans up in the Port City watching us on My 9 Sports, 6.3 up in the Duluth area. We'll see how this first 5 to 10 minutes goes, because I think everyone leaving the building last night who has been around college hockey and in this state for a long time know that the effort we got last night from the Bulldogs not at all indicative of the talent that exists on this team. Take a look at our keys to the game real quick, Darren.
Yeah, talking to Coach, as always, right? First goal and getting that momentum, and I think the momentum throughout the whole game is going to be big. And then the goaltenders, I think, you know, every night the goalies is going to, you know, those guys are going to play a big part in your night, and definitely tonight those goaltenders, and then that 2-goal lead. As you're this time of the year, you know, guys are tired. It's hard to play the second night. If you can get up by a couple, that's a big lead this time of the year.
Milmock sends one just wide in the slot area off the rebound, and it's played out to center ice. Milmock back after it, brings it along the boards, tipped out by Carter Loney. Wheeler is there to turn it around for Minnesota State. Wheeler lead pass for Fitzgerald, who tips it in. Dashke, the transfer for UMD, one of 12 new players on the squad this year for Scott Sandlin, 10 of which are freshmen. Dashke coming in as a graduate student. Maverick set up behind the net. Malinowski played ahead, past a couple of players. Wilson wins the race, so no icing on the play. Grohl gets there, one of 6 players who scored goals last night for the Mavericks. Grohl again with it along the boards, played ahead for Howard. Mavericks trying to pick up puck possession. They do. Wilson with a quick shot, and that's wide. Grohl looking for a rebound, but he was below the angle of the net, and Grohl then plays it back to the point for Malinowski.
Luke Wilson with a good shift there. Didn't play last night. Got a little hop in his step there, jumping through the middle and winning a race to a nice puck.
Pavel unable to control for Minnesota State, so it'll be picked up on the near boards by Francis and cleared. Played down, and this will be an icing call. Again, as Darren just mentioned, Luke Wilson in the lineup tonight, along with Adam Isley. And there's a look at that shot that you just talked about by Wilson.
You know, one of the things last night, I thought MSU did a good job on line changes, controlling the puck, getting pressure, continuing shifts. See if they can continue that tonight here.
If you're wondering who's sitting for the Mavericks, Zach Kranick and Connor Grega both sitting tonight. And talking to Coach Hastings, not that they played poorly by any means last night, but it was one of those things we've heard now for a couple of years. It's just trying to get guys in the lineup who've earned the opportunity throughout the week, and I think it speaks a lot, Darren, to the depth and the balance of this team.
No doubt. I mean, there's guys throughout the lineup that are going to be fighting every night to get in and play. And you know, and as we talked about early in the year, there's guys finding their roles, right, different spots. And it's like coaches are always looking who can play with who can play with who. So there's going to be a lot of shifting here early in the year.
Into the zone, a little bit too far on the lead for Olsen. Furry on the far corner. Still along the boards in the zone for UMD, and now cleared as Borchard gets dropped on the play. Hillman steps in for Minnesota State, now turned around by Kaiser. He'll carry into the zone. Near side for James, who sends one wide and saved by Tracy and out of the zone. And Goetz off the boards, left for James. He and Biondi have it, brought into the zone now by Olsen. Still with the puck, sends it in on net, and Tracy with the glove hand will take the face off in the zone.
A little what we talked about earlier, getting to the nets, right? The goalies are it's going to be a big night for the goalies, and I think to negate, it's also going to be a big night getting to the net. And you saw 17 there for Duluth. You know, James getting to the net and trying to create some traffic, and the Maverick defenseman boxing out and not letting him get there. So there's going to be a battle for that territory in front of the net tonight for sure.
UMD already with 2 shots on goal, almost mirroring what they had all in the first period, and actually for about the first half of the contest last night, where they only had 3 over the first 30 minutes. That I've never seen that before from a Bulldog team. Speaks a lot to the Mavericks defensively as Morton has it, trying to bring it out in front, but Wooden off on the play now. Sandlin. Fitzgerald behind the net. Dashke is on him. And now we're going to get a penalty as Fitzgerald gets tied up on the play. Morton still has it, trying to feed Fitzgerald out in front. And when it's touched by UMD, it's going to be a holding call at 3:48.
It's a good play there by Fitzgerald, just trying to keep his feet moving, right? If he stands there, there's no penalty. So just when somebody's trying to get in your way, continue to try and get to the spot you want to get to. And if he's impeding you, it's awful hard for that.
Minnesota Duluth penalty number 10, minor penalty holding.
Holding the call on Dashke, and of course last night, as we'll take another look at the penalty here with Dashke tying things up with Fitzgerald. Mavericks 4 for 7 on the power play last night. So their percentage, again, early in the season, things have changed rather quickly, but after that performance last night, Mavericks 30.7% on the young season with the man advantage. Morton swings one down low, set up high. Livingstone has it in the corner. Taken away from him. Carosi has it, but the Mavericks have to clear. Carosi for Livingstone. Livingstone last night with a point, or a couple of points with a goal and an assist, now a 3-game scoring streak. Morton along the goal line, brings it behind the net, sweeps one through, and then it went right through the crease, but no one on the weak side could make a play. Latterroot with a couple of Mavericks tying him up, but he's doing an effective job taking some time off. Carosi now with it. Livingstone tees one up. Tried to get Stayskal leaning on the play and went just a little bit too far wide. Carosi through some traffic, and with that's Borchard out in front looking for a tip. Stayskal there to make the save, and he'll take a face-off with still 50 seconds left to go in the Maverick power play.
I think you saw a little bit what Coach Hastings was talking about before the game, and on the power play, holding on to it that extra half second sometimes. You don't have to rush it. You don't have to throw it. Protect it, possess it, and then make a play with it. Getting it to the net and having a little net front presence.
Mavericks last night winning the face-off battle 32-20. Celia steps in. I know, Darren, you were talking with Coach before the game just how tremendous the Mavericks have been in recent years off that face-off, and it certainly has aided in their offense production.
There's no doubt. I think it's one thing Coach Hastings preaches is that we can get offense off every face-off dot, whether it's in your own end or the offensive zone. And last night, I think there were 3 goals scored directly off of face-off possessions. So something that the Mavericks definitely preach and work on.
Tracy will play it along the boards for Celia. Down to 15 seconds left to go in the power play. So one last rush. Played back to Furry. They'll bring it into the zone. Dumped off for Celia. Celia through the slot. Mavericks will hold. Played down low by Grohl. Sandlin tied up on the play. Ashke's out of the box, so we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Grohl after it. Tied up by Goetz on the play. Isley now steps in for Minnesota State. Kaiser with the puck for the Bulldogs. Flipped out by Olsen. Headman there for Biondi, but turned around by Minnesota State. Off Pavel's skate and quickly turned around. Bulldogs have to clear as it's picked up now by Olsen along the boards. Pavel steps in to help out Hiroshi with puck possession for the Mavericks. Played ahead for Pavel. Race for the puck, and also the goal had come off the magnet, and so we're going to have a stoppage of play no matter what. This is officially an icing call, and we'll take it back in the Maverick defensive zone.
Great kill by the Bulldogs. Gave up one shot, from the blue line. Mavericks had a couple chances to get a couple more, just missed the net. But great job by Duluth. I'm sure they're happy getting through that first one. As we talked about, you don't want to take that first penalty on a night. And, that can be that tone setter, that first goal, that momentum swing that we talked about.
Pavel will get the draw for the Mavericks. Behind the net now, it's picked up by Hiroshi Isley. He'll just tap it out of the zone. Spicer back, but the long reach of Pavel will keep it in the zone temporarily, but now pull Spicer the other way for UMD. Into the slot for Howard. He fans on an attempt. Spicer again in the corner. Near side, Dubinsky puts one that's blocked out front. Isaac Howard. Malinowski was on him, and now Pavel will go off into the corner. Played off the boards and out by Sykos. Aiden Dubinsky for UMD. Lifted out of the zone. We'll go back, and this will be an icing call. So we'll take the face-off back the other way, and I can let you know that Alliance Contracting is a longtime supporter of Maverick Athletics. Thank you for support and helping us build champions, Alliance Contracting.
Just a subtle little play by the winger there. I think it was Hillman. Just pushing that defenseman out. Looks like Duluth's going to try and stay up, shrink that zone, and if they're going to be right up on you, you got to take them out of the zone and create some space. And I thought that was a smart play by him.
Carroll tees up a shot. Rebound there. Morton score! Sam Morton with goals both nights now, but that whole play started with the face-off win in the zone and a great shot from the point by Carroll.
You know what? Sam Morton wins a draw and ends up getting it back. Yeah, getting the puck on net, creating some traffic, and then shelving it. What a shot there by Sam Morton.
Morton, second of the season, fourth point of the year, and the Mavericks get the first goal tonight at 7:37, 1-0 Minnesota State.
Well, there's that first one Coach was talking about. We'll see what the momentum swing can do, or if there is one. Sometimes you never know which team's going to feed off something like that. And you're hoping it's the one that you're on, right? The side that you're on.
Sandlin right back to work in the zone on a backhand, plays it to the point for Hiroshi. He sends one down low, but he gets blocked still down there. Somehow it got through. Morton was looking one more time for a tip. Biondi left off for Dominic James, carried in by Quinn Olson. Grohl. Morton. Biondi sends one wide off the turnover. Kaiser at the point. That one sent wide as well on the far side that Biondi tracks down. UMD with a little time in the zone. Pushed into the corner. Biondi and Livingstone after it. James plays it back up on top, and Olsen blasts one wide and sends all the way out of the zone. Both teams will start a line change with 11:15 left to go in the first. Morton just scoring his second of the season, second of the weekend, to give the Mavericks an early 1-0 lead. Grohl steps in for the Mavericks. Now played out of the zone, carried out by Johnson. Behind the net. Jesse Jocks on a backhand. Left off for Johnson. He's turned around by Wheeler, and Wheeler's going to go. Celia will make a play. That'll bring about a whistle, and the Mavericks will go on a penalty kill. They were successful on all 5 power plays last night. Interference is going to be the call on Wheeler. We'll take a break here. Come back with that Bulldog power play. They trail 1-0. Mason Wheeler off 2 minutes here at 9:21. Some of the capacity crowd, we should be pretty near a sellout tonight, a little over 4,900 in the building for this one. Few people still recovering from their participation in the Mankato Marathon today, and the 5K and the 10K fun runs. And Darren, I don't know about you, but I mentioned last night, the 2 words fun run do not belong together in the same sentence. It's kind of like Halloween and all those fun-sized candy bars. Those are not fun-sized candy bars, they're minis.
Yeah,
Kids want the real thing.
I've witnessed my wife train for quite a few, and that's that takes some discipline. So congratulations to all those that were able to finish that today.
Good day for a run here as UMD again last night 0 for 5 on the power play. They came in 50% on the year after the first weekend sweep over Arizona State. Olsen played behind the net now for Biondi. James to the point for Gallatin. Olsen sends one down low. And right out in front, Hiroshi got part of that attempt as it was a centering attempt there by Lowhite. And here's a look at that penalty on Wheeler. If they're consistent, then it's a penalty. We see that all night. That's fine. Again, officials tonight, TJ Likens, Bruce Vita, along with Matt Tyree and Eric Stranke, who are the linesmen.
Great job by the kill there. You know, Duluth's doing a good job moving guys up and down, getting to the front of the net, and then popping out to the side. And I thought the defenseman there did a great job reading that, head on the swivel, knowing their guys are disappearing too.
Orchard unable to clear on the play. It's back to the point and held in by Dashke. Howard, first round draft choice, 31st overall in this past year's draft. Going to Tampa Bay, had the puck there a little bit, but the Mavericks clear with now 40 seconds left to go in their first penalty kill of the night. 9:15 left to go in the first. Kaiser to the far side, played behind the net by Dashke. Latterroot. Into the corner for Spicer. Howard on the near side. Howard will pick it up, try to find some room on the far dasher. Souter steps in, almost able to clear. Kaiser comes in, played down low, and that one's off the side of the net by Howard. Quick shot. Kaiser trying to find some room through some traffic as Wheeler's out of the box. Down into the slot, picked up, sent down by Livingstone, and it'll be an icing call. But Mavericks, that was just one of those things. They'd been on the ice, probably not the worst icing you're going to see.
No, it's a good call. It's the right call by Jake just to get that out. Yep. I'm sure he was, as I say, sometimes you need good putters out there, right? How do you make it stop in the right spot and not get all the way to the other end? But you know what? Great kill so far, or great kill by the group, and they're going to have to come out and find a way to get that out and get a line change here.
Of course, Darren Blue with us again tonight. So we thank ISG, a long-standing teammate of Maverick Hockey and MSU, proud to design spaces where champions are made. Lending us the talent of one Mr. Blue tonight. And Darren will be with us after the game, of course, to talk to Maverick head coach Mike Hastings. Part of the post-game show. Hopefully a sweep for the Mavericks this weekend. Wheeler upended on the play. Here comes Lowhite back the other way. His shot is sent wide. Wheeler tracks it down, just tips it out to center ice. Gallatin. Malinowski steps in to break up that play to Lowhite. Malinowski off the boards for Hillman. Hillman had a goal last night. Hillman, Morton, Celia, Orchard, Grohl, and Livingstone again scoring from all 4 offensive lines. Side coast gets dumped. It sends one down into the zone. And now Lowhite, the Mavericks on a change, but then Lowhite brings it in offside as he had trapped Jesse Jocks on the play. We will take a break. 7:25 left to go as you're watching Maverick Hockey here on Flow Hockey TV.
Congratulations, you got 10 in the category, making you winner. You're going home with a prize, courtesy of MSU.
Taking a look there at Sam Morton,
Let's go.
senior out of Lafayette, Colorado. He's got the lone goal of the contest so far at 7:37 of the first period of play. And that's where we stand, 1-0 as we're down to about 7:20 left to go in the first. First intermission coming up. We'll have a chance to talk to one of the Mavericks. Could be Mr. Morton. Haven't had a chance to hear from him yet this year. We also look forward to talking to Scott Nelson, Assistant Director of Athletics for Minnesota State, to talk about a big promotion he's directly involved with this summer with Cancer Awareness Month, as well as some other things going on with the Maverick Athletic Department. Busy weekend for the Mavericks. Football's home, volleyball was home. Lots of activities. We know women's hockey was home yesterday, first of a home and home with the Gophers. So a very busy department this weekend for Kevin Beisman, Paul Allen, Scott Nelson in the group. Sauter over skates the puck as he's jostled with there by Biondi. Rossi will at least bring it out to center ice, pick it up along the boards one more time and dump it in. And Goetz behind the net. Sauter has it, low angle shot there, gets one in on net. A lot of traffic up at top. Puck is still loose. Volley played back to the corner and it'll be played all the way back to the point, but no one there as about 4 Mavericks were down inside 5 feet of the goal. Orchard will have a chance here on the near side. Waits for some players to get on the ice as the Mavericks started a change. Wheeler. Carroll drives one in. Fitzgerald and Morton left off now, and Spicer will pick things up for UMD. Off the boards, carried out by Howard. Wheeler retreats behind his net. Howard unable to control at the line, so UMD will have to clear. He brings it back in as he's watched by Carroll. Low angle shot is up high off shoulder of Tracy. Sandlin dumps one into the zone, but quickly turned around by Dubinsky and Gallatin. Lead pass tipped in, wide of the net by Spicer. Carroll is there. Carroll will bring it out to center ice, dump one in. Grohl's after, but Stayskal gets there first. Wilson trying to feed Celia, but a little bit too far in advance of that pass and brought the other way.
Just a lot of play between the tops of the circles here. And we knew it was going to be a little tighter tonight, both sides. And you can, in the shots 4-3 right now.
That shot low into the slot area taken by Bettens, but it went off a skate. Celia will track it down ahead of Johnson. Grohl with the skate trying to control along the boards. And now Celia will pick things up. Feed out to center ice. Wilson after along with Dubinsky, and Dubinsky wins the race and clears.
Last night we saw a couple odd man rushes early. We knew we weren't going to see much of that here. Guys are back, taking care of their own end, making it hard. Hard ice out here tonight.
Hillman. Isley along the far boards. That's it down into the zone. Much different than last night where the Mavericks in the first period able to put on 15 shots on goal. Right now 4-3 are shots on goal with 15 minutes gone here in the first. Carter Loney plays it to the near corner. And Goat steps in. Livingstone, nifty little pass there back, and the Mavericks are bringing out with Pavel. Tipped away, back into the zone, and Pavel has it one more time. Jake Livingstone flips one in, and again, both teams in the process right now, gaining it to the zone, sending it down, and going into a line change. No one's really had a lot of time in the zone for about the past 5-6 minutes. Carroll with 3.5 left to go in the first. Borchard takes the hit along the boards from Gallatin. Maverick still with it. Now Pavel in the corner, sweeps it along the boards for Souter, but back to the point. Pierce will hold. Played up high and out of midair. It's flipped out of the crease by Mavericks. Pierce, big hit. And then he's dropped by Souter on a hit as well. So body's starting to fly. Furry with a head of speed will bring it into the zone. Brings it out in front, gets one in on net, but Stayskal steers aside. Good rush up the ice there by the Mavericks, still in the zone with Bellini. There's a tip out in front by Borchard. Into the corner. Borchard. He and Souter exchange possession. Borchard for Furry. Played behind the net with Souter. Souter for Malinowski. Played wide of the net intentionally. It's down low. No, just before Morton got there, and that'll bring some attention. As Morton tried to get there, the puck was loose, but just before Morton could get there, Stayskal alertly covers up, freezes the puck, and we will take a break as well. 1-0 Mavericks from Mankato.
Mavericks Street Team. Affinity Plus would like to recognize Aiden and Ilya.
Don Westfall and Darren Blue, and there you see a couple guys with the 28, and a couple guys who are on their way to the penalty box as well. Dubinsky and Borchard.
Who's the better 28? Is that what we're talking about there?
There was no question in my mind who the better 28 is.
Little chat. Just before that break there, it was great to see Brendan Furry. I mean, we know what kind of, we know the wheels he has. It was great to see him get a little head of steam, take that thing to the far post. He's a heck of a player. Just as he continues to use his feet, he's going to continue to create chances that way.
Roughing after the whistle is the call that goes into the books against Dubinsky and Borchard. 17:43. Bulldogs bring it out of the zone. Dominic James, and that one is going to be whistled down offside. And I can let you know JBL Real Estate Group has proudly served Greater Mankato since 2002. JBL has experts from Mankato to St. Peter, Lake Crystal, Fairmont, and beyond. Thinking about buying or selling, the company to call is JBL Real Estate Group. One of our fine sponsors, bringing you Maverick Hockey here on KEYC Circle. 12.3 over the air. Psychos for the Mavericks. We're 4-on-4 after the coincidental minors to Dubinsky and Borchard. Biondi left off for Kaiser. Played into Tracy, who will just kick it into the corner. Gallatin at the point. Played down off the skate of Psychos, and now here comes Sandlin the other way as Kaiser's back defensively. Sandlin has it taken away finally by Kaiser. Headman there to ladder out. He dumps it into the zone as we're down to 50 seconds left. 4-on-4 hockey. 1 minute left to go in the first. Just the lone tally by Morton so far in the contest. Pavel. Olsen's on him. James, he's ridden out along the boards nicely by Hiroshi on the play. Pavel's wide open down low, and he unfortunately can't go after the puck. It would have been offside, and also stepping out to help out there was Goetz defensively to nullify an opportunity. James, and that's another offside call coming up on UMD.
There's two tough ones there on UMD. As a guy with, we always said the guy without the puck, you got to make sure you're not stepping over that line. Sometimes it's hard when you're going east-west there.
Maverick Athletics would like to thank OFC for being the presenting sponsor of our 3 stars of the game and our post-game autograph sessions after each Saturday game. 3 Mavericks will be signing autographs in the lobby. come out to the game and get your autograph soon. In fact, Connor Grega, Stephen Bellini, Tony Manilowski are going to be the players signing autographs tonight. Next home game on a Saturday, 2 weeks from now with Bowling Green. Sam Morton, Bennett Smolik, and Keenan Rancier will be in the lobby signing autographs, part of the Halloween weekend festivities from the Mayo Clinic Health System Event Center. Both players are out of the box, so we're back to 5-on-5 hockey with 10 seconds left in the period. Souter down low in the corner. Brings out in front, takes on a good shot. Rebound is right there. Celia was bouncing. He came up and just kind of whiffed on it as he couldn't get a handle on the play. A dangerous opportunity. Good look for the Mavericks, and they'll take the lead into the first intermission locker room. Morton scoring at 7:37, and it's Minnesota State 1-0 lead over UMD here from Mankato. Okay, so you have Mr. Morton.
We're back with Jake Livingstone here in Mankato with the Mavericks up 1-0. Jake, good first period. We knew it was going to be a little bit tougher. What did you see out there on your side?
I mean, I guess their team, they definitely came out hunting, getting their bumps and stuff. We knew that was going to happen. Sandy, he's a good coach. His dad's a good coach, so we knew that was going to come after that game we had last night. I knew they were going to come with a hard push, but we battled in. We stayed with it. Mo had a nice goal there to help us out.
Yeah, it was great to see. I thought last night, the momentum, right? You got moving. Tonight we saw that first goal, and they were able to find a way to not let you get the next one. What are we looking for in the second period? How do we get that edge here coming out in the second period?
I think we just got to do a better job as a team getting pucks to the net. We did a good job holding the puck down low and doing our cutbacks. You know all about that, so we just got to possess the puck down low, and we got to get it to the hole more.
I thought you guys did a great job of getting pucks to the net last night and getting traffic. I know as a defenseman, it's hard to shoot that puck when you see the defense, when you can see the goalie. I thought your forwards did a great job for you, and I thought you guys did a good job getting involved. Is that something from last week to this week you guys focused on?
Yeah, I think that came up huge after the weekend in Omaha there. That's kind of where we struggled mainly, is kind of getting pucks to the net and having guys there. So even from the Gophers weekend to now, that's kind of been our big main emphasis. We scored a lot of goals like that in the past with guys in front of the net, so that's just kind of a hard, gritty way we got to play.
Well, keep it up, Jake. Great job in that first period. We talked about getting that first one. You guys were able to do that tonight, and good luck here as the game goes on, second period and throughout the night.
Thanks, Billy. Talk to you later.
Jake Livingstone, Darren Blue will take a break, come back, talk to Scott Nelson from the athletic department. Along with Darren Blue, Don Westfall back here for period number 2 of game number 2, the weekend series between the Mavericks and Bulldogs. Mavericks on top 1-0. The goal by Morton, 7:38. Carroll with the lone assist on the play at that time, right off the face-off. The rebound given up out in front of Stayskal off the blast from the point by Carroll. And again, the Mavericks 1-0 lead. Shots on goal in the first period, 6-5 in favor of the Mavericks. They also have the better of the face-off battle, 10-7 in the circle. Concourse is probably pretty busy tonight, are they not, Darren? It's hard to get around.
It is busy around here tonight.
Like
it's great to see.
I like it.
It's a good crowd in here. Hopefully we get a few more shots, a little bit more action.
What's the big difference from last? You saw the contest, just a better defensive effort, and obviously not the number of power plays given up by UMD.
Well, yeah, I mean it is. Last night you started with a couple power plays early, then you came the other way, and I just think there was a little more ice last night for the Mavericks. I thought the Bulldogs right now are staying up tight. They're making it hard, and that's when we talk about hard ice, it's just you're staying up in somebody's face. Hockey's all about time and space, right? So you're trying to take it away, or you're trying to earn it somehow, and there's just not a lot of free ice out here tonight.
That last shot so hard knocked the stick right out of the hand of Alex Tracy, and so the Mavericks are going to have an icing call, but he'll get the stick back, and there you see it. Shot coming off the stick of Dominic James.
It's like that one that catches you in the bad spot on the golf club, right? Little rattle to it, little.
Those are the shots that sometimes kind of go halfway up the arm as well, a little stinger.
I hit a lot of those.
You do not. I heard you're not too bad of a golfer.
People lie to you now.
Not about you. No, no, no. On its center ice, loose puck that finally is going to be controlled by Dashke, who flips it in. Only overskates it. Sauter unable to clear. That one's played off the glass, near side, but out and sent right back in. Tracy will leave it off for Hiroshi.
You know, one of the things this time of year, you know, we're talking about little details all the time, and how do you know, why is there less space? And I'm sure one of the things that the Bulldogs looked at last night was just sticks, right? And you see tonight, there's a lot of really good stick pressure both ways. I know it's something that Coach Hastings will get on guys about stick, and how do you get bigger and take up more space. And I think both teams are doing a good job of that tonight. You see another good stick, right? Creates a little bit of a fumbled puck.
Played off into the corner now. Wheeler gets rid of it before he's knocked off. Puck on the play, and Sandlin dumps it in. Francis there to tip it away. Sandlin along with Gallatin now played out to off the top of the net, actually literally the top of the net. Trickles behind and still in point with Wheeler. Now Morton steps in.
There's been a couple of interesting bounces off that end wall over there by the Shields. It's always good when you know where they're at. A couple of interesting ones here today.
Francis, he gets turned around by Celia on the play off the skate of roll. Sykos able to keep it out of the zone, but now fired in. Sykos for Carroll. Headmans the pass for Celia, who dumps it in. Kaiser steps away from Wilson, and he'll carry it out now to center ice. Save made by Tracy. Played wide of the net. And Bettens with a couple of looks. Tracy holds on, and we'll see. And now all of a sudden it's Wilson and that was actually Malinowski and Bettens talking things over.
Great individual play there by Kaiser, getting out of his own zone. And I know it's something that, you know, getting angles. And when you're playing against a defenseman of that caliber, it's all about angles and sticks and forcing them to spots.
Is this standing room only back here tonight? This is, wow, this is standing room only back here, Derek.
We got full house.
Wow, we like that. We like that. It's literally standing room only when they're on either side of us here in our little broadcast area. That means we'll probably be pushing 5,000, which is really good. And two teams who deserve that kind of attention. Off the draw, Mavericks will bring it off to center ice. Dumped in by Hillman. Pavel along with Goetz, but now Luke Johnson steps in for UMD. Malinowski able to clear. Isley had there for Hillman too long. There after Kaiser and Hillman. Jock steps in to pick it up for UMD. Flipped out to center ice, but Pavel carries it back in. Bettens quickly to turn it around. Now to play in center ice. Bellini will carry it in for the Mavericks. Behind the net. Pavel will come back in front of the UMD bench. Off for Hiroshi. Orchard. And able to send it into the zone, so the Mavericks will regroup. Orchard for Sauter.
I think one of the different, and we'll see if they, it starts happening here a little bit, and guys start getting a little bit tired and worn down. But last night there were a lot of extended shifts, and guys were able to keep pucks down below the top of the circle, which allowed our defensemen, you know, when you talk about the difference in shots, it allowed those defensemen to engage and cycle through and create, you know, those odd-numbered situations.
Olsen there with the shot that Tracy makes the save on.
We just haven't seen a lot of extended play in either zone by either UMD or Minnesota State down low.
JBL Real Estate Group has probably served Greater Mankato since 2002 with experts from Mankato to St. Peter, Lake Crystal, Fairmont, and beyond. Thinking about buying or selling? The company to call here in South Central Minnesota, JBL Real Estate Group. Off this draw, it's going to be Nilmock and the Bulldogs. Tries to bring it out in front, but Livingstone forces the play into the corner. Low height left off for Milmuck. Carried out by Loney. Still along the near boards. Now behind the net. Low height. Up on top, Dashke to the far side. Dubinsky with the knuckler that got all the way into some traffic. Now it's picked up by Fitzgerald. Played through neutral ice, turned around, but the Mavericks will hold the zone. Here comes Fitzgerald to the far side. He was trying to feed Sandlin, but an alert play there by Milmuck turns it around the other way. Low height with the shot, Tracy the save. And starting to loosen up just a bit. Sykos just leaves it off for Carroll to set things up, but the Mavericks get a new forward line on the ice. Stahl left off now with Joey Pierce. Howard. No! Latteroot dumps it in. Carroll. Grohl. Celia plays it ahead for Sykos. Mavericks will clear. Wilson carries in. Low angle out in front, right on top of the crease. No one home for the Mavericks, and Spicer's back the other day with Latteroot. Left off for Howard into the slot. Nice job to bring it in, but then lost the puck. It's played up on top for Gallatin. Pass over on the far side. That was Pierce. Tapped away. Mavericks trying to clear. They'll at least get it over the line.
Two plays there by the Mavericks, hoping to make maybe a little bit too much, right? Instead of just getting to the net, something we talked about earlier today.
Played up into the net off the shot of Pavel, and we'll take a break here. Nearing the halfway point of the contest, still 1-0 in Mankato. Mavericks still looking for their first shot on goal here, nearing 7 minutes gone in the second period of play, but still holding on to that 1-0 lead. Hillman sends one wide, looking for that attempted shot on goal. Right at the line, up in the air, bouncing puck. Isley was tied up on the play. Bettens will bring it out for Johnson. Kicked aside by Tracy. Bettens now will step in. Johnson up on top to the point. Kaiser fans on an attempted play into the slot area. There's a one-timer by Johnson sent wide. Goetz will send one toward the net. Jesse Jocks back to the point wide. Kaiser sends one in, and a couple players out in front. Bettens and Pavel getting reacquainted with one another as Tracy holds on for that faceoff.
Sitting in section 318, row E, you'll receive a gift card to Ummy's located on South Front Street.
It's a great job by Duluth. They're creating a little confusion, moving, getting guys low to high, high to low. It's a little bit what we talked about Mavericks were able to do last night to Duluth.
High stick after the whistle on Pavel. Okay. Thought both players were kind of engaged in that activity, but it's going to be Pavel in the box for two and a UMD power play coming up. They were 0 for 1 back in the first, as were the Mavericks. Off the draw, Livingstone holds up the puck along the boards with low height on him. Biondi steps in as well for Minnesota Duluth. Still along the boards. Mavericks just holding it there to kill more time early in this penalty kill. To the far side, Quinn Olson, Dominic James, Gallatin. Hops over the stick of James on the play. Gallatin, top of the slot. One-timer there, sent wide. Flipped out in front of the net and knocked in. They're going to wave it off. They're going to say it was played with a high stick. So no goal is the immediate call, and we'll see if the replay will come into the look. And Biondi was in, but the official's pretty emphatic. It was played with a high stick.
I'm sure somebody's going to want to take a look at this. And you know, it's kind of what we talked about down in the other end of the ice. Let's get some pucks to the net and see what happens.
Again, TJ Likens and Bruce Vita Jr. there to talk about it. Well, it's waved off again, played with the high stick. We'll take another look.
I think we'll see it.
Looks like it was up low height there on the play, but it would look like it was up over the shoulder.
Yeah, I think if they do take a look at it, that's going to be a hard one to change.
Scott Sandlin looking for more of an explanation from the officiating crew on the play, just to the right of the screen. So you're going to see just to the right of the screen. I think, Darren, you're going to be right in the fact that the ruling on the ice is going to be hard to have indisputable evidence to overturn that.
Yeah, it's always one that we talked about. You need the, you know, the on-ice camera, that level camera. None of them seem to give you that view where you know exactly how high it is. But I'd say it looks like the refs might have got one right here on the ice, and we'll see what they say when they take a look in the box here.
I know those of you viewing last night are going to refer to last night when on the what appeared to be the 7th goal of the game by Pavel, the officials waved it off right away. Now, we had the benefit of a replay, but in the building, the officials, the replay that they use is a different system than the TV broadcast. Why it's not the same, I don't have the explanation on that one. But last night, the goal that the Mavericks would have liked to have seen, that one, at that time, the replay wasn't working. They couldn't review it. This one, obviously, they are. So there is, again, low height out in front, swats it in. The question that's being considered right now is, was the stick above the shoulder, which would then disallow the goal. And that was the call on the ice. Played with the high stick in, so no goal. But the official challenge made by Scott Sandlin and the Bulldog coaching staff.
It was interesting. I think they were trying to say, let's go. We don't want to challenge before when the camera's on Scott over there. So we'll see how this ends up. And as the officials exit the box here. You know, all these teams have their video guys up top. They're talking to each other back and forth. You're always, as the video guy, you're trying to see things as soon as you can.
Let's get the call.
After review, the call on the ice is confirmed. No goal, high stick.
So Maverick fans like the call in the building, obviously. And again, here's going to come the play on the right lower corner of the screen.
So the new rules now, that's a lost timeout now, right?
That
challenge.
is correct. Yep.
Mr. Duluth loses their timeout for the game, or uses their timeout to make the challenge, I should say.
So that challenge coming near the midway point of a contest, and the Bulldogs still looking for their first goal of the weekend. Still on the power play for another minute. Low height again back with it up on top for Olsen. Olsen, that one blocked by Cilia. And now it's going to be forced out of the zone and race for the puck. He's got a trailer too. Grohl brings it out in front. Oh, and he deked him out, but it went with the backhand and it floats just wide of the net.
You know, Grohl and Cilia have been fun to watch kill penalties together. There's a little chemistry, reading plays and helping each other out.
Livingstone just blocking that shot, coming in from the circle, but then played up out of the zone, so the Bulldogs will retreat with still 20 seconds left to go in the power play. Howard into the slot, Biondi, and a nice blocker save by Tracy. Furry along with 3 Bulldogs and picked up and sent down the ice by Livingstone, and that will do it for the remaining time.
Mavericks full strength.
Pavel, so Mavericks perfect on the night, and now a big hit along the boards, and the Bulldogs are going to the box, and we'll see if this is one that they spend some time looking at as well. Going to be a cross check, and you'll take a look at the penalty.
Interesting play there. Borch I think it was Borchert makes a little cat and mouse there, which way am I going? And goalie doesn't know where to set it, leaves it in the corner, and Borchert wins the race and ends up taking a hit. So power play for the Mavericks here. We'll see what they can do with it after a Duluth, a big kill on the other end of the rink.
There's a hit against Howard as he drops Borchert on the play. Cross-checking the call at 9:39. Mavericks again last night 4 for 7 with the man advantage. Bulldogs cleared all the way down the ice. Tracy is back. Played off for Hiroshi. Borchert. Morton trying to bring it back to a forehanded side in the slot, but picked up and sent down the ice.
I think this is one of those times of the game you talk about that momentum change. What's going to happen here from a penalty kill? All of a sudden you get the power play right after it. How can you change that momentum and get things moving your way?
Far side for Livingstone. Sauter thought about trying to get a pass to Morton, but didn't cleanly handle it. Morton will tee up a shot, and that one is blocked. Morton back for Hiroshi in the slot. Far side, Livingstone. Oh, here comes Morton again. Score! Sam Morton, his second goal of the night, almost from the same spot, opposite ends of the rink. But he's goal tonight, 2 for 2, and it's a 2-0 Maverick lead.
Sam's on fire right now. He's got one on the back end. He's got one off his skate, off to the forehand. You know what I love about that play is there's no stick handle. Sometimes it's about getting it off quick, and sometimes it's about shooting it past the goalie. And that's finding the puck off your skate, getting it to your stick, getting it off, putting it by the goaltender. Great play and great little fake over there. I think was that Livingstone on the backside that made that play. Finding the seam through the middle.
So Morton, his second of the night, third of the season at 10:36 with the power play tally to give the Mavericks the 2-0 lead. Bulldogs brings it out to center ice. Hiroshi and Livingstone assisting on that second goal by Morton. So he's got 2 and then assist to Carroll, Hiroshi, and Livingstone helping out Morton with the 2 tallies. Celia, Sykos, Fitzgerald. Blue pass turned around. Biondi back into the zone. Played to the far side, but a little bit too far for Pierce. Thinks about the shot down low. It hit some traffic, and then Sandlin is able to clear.
That right there's what you can never give a good player a bad pass, they say, right? Find a way to get it to your stick, find a way to get a shot off, and you know what, sometimes you just have to get it through a seam, and that seam might be 4 inches to get 4.5 inches to get a 4-inch puck through there. So great play by Livingstone to find that hole, and great play by Morton to find a way to get it on net.
Played just to the far side of the net, and Hillman unable to clear. Flipped out to center ice, race for the puck that the Bulldogs will get. Cole Spicer. A couple of Mavericks convert on him defensively, then out in front. Good look by Laderoute. To the point. Goetz for Kaiser, who sends one in, and that's kicked aside by Tracy, who he's looked pretty confident, strong most of the weekend here.
And you know what? Just a great little play right there, putting it up into the net.
We'll come back, get more thoughts on that one. Morton gets to the 2-0 score. Stomper along with our veteran of the game here from downtown Mankato. Mavericks again the 2-0 lead, and we were just talking before that break, Darren, about just the play. It's been pretty consistent all weekend long here from Alex Tracy, seeing his first collegiate action.
No doubt, and I think one of the things you always look for in attribute in a goaltender is how do they control the game? When do they get a whistle? Where do they put pucks? And I think that was a great one. Duluth had a little pressure going there, just a nice little shot, but Alex is able to put it up into the net, get a whistle, get a face-off so they can get started again.
So Sauter in the zone, and we're to that pivotal point of the game, Darren. It actually was one of our keys tonight. First team, if you get to a 2-goal lead, and seeing if you can extend that.
No doubt. I mean, it's 2-goal lead. You know, we always joke there's the worst lead in hockey, right? And it's always better if you have the lead. But there's no doubt that momentum back and forth, and momentum is so strong. But or momentum can be such a strong, you know, part of the game every night. And you're always looking to get 3. And I don't know, you never feel comfortable at 1, 2, 3, or 4, to tell you the truth. But
was there ever a moment you guys felt fairly comfortable on the bench?
I don't remember one.
I tell you what, it's usually, as it's played all the way down State School, it's usually hard pressed from our vantage point to see smiles on the coaching staff behind the bench.
Yeah.
And that's not a criticism by any means. It's just part of the game.
No, and you know, I think it goes back to exactly what you talk about. The game isn't to win games. It's you're not teaching, talking. You're not talking about a win. You're talking about the process. So whether you're up by 2, down by 2, whatever it is, it's the process and what you're doing. And so you're always looking for guys to do the right things. So whether you're up, whether you're down, you know, it's really the same feeling. You're looking for people to make the right plays and move the right direction.
Nice job there by Furry to jump into the play from behind the net. Brings it out in front. Couple of quick looks between Furry and then Grohl. Furry back with it again. Floats it in, but it's blocked out in front by Francis. He'll carry to center ice. Milmock. Perosi's there.
Good strong play by Furry. Creates a second chance also. Good play by the defenseman. If you saw Duluth, I think all 5 guys were within the stick length of the crease, taking care of things there.
Orchard with the loose puck trying to carry it through traffic, but gets turned around. Now Milmock. Livingstone back for Minnesota State. Perosi with a long lead pass off the stick of Borchard into the zone. Hillman goes. Now Kaiser picks it up for UMD. Isley steps into the play, long go out in front. Hillman, oh, and a fantastic play. Actually, I think Biondi got back in defensively. It was a bouncing puck, so he had to kind of control it on the play, knock it down. Nice setup there by Isley. But the Mavericks that close to making it a 3-0 game. Back to the point for Carroll.
Yeah, look.
Hillman gets tripped up by James, and he'll go on a tripping call. Mavericks alertly just bring it back into the zone to get the extra attacker. Mavericks with Tracy in the bench area for the extra attacker. Will try to set up in the zone. Hillman, Wheeler out in front. Hillman almost had one. Now Carroll back up on top for Morton, who's looking for a hat trick. Sandlin down low. That one is off a skate wide to the point. Wheeler gets there. Morton, Sandlin, low angle shot still loose on the side off the save from Stay-Skull, and we'll have a stop to play and the penalty and come back with a Maverick power play late here in the second.
You know, it's one of those things you don't want to do it, but it's right there, right? And sometimes it's hard and get a little, maybe a little more aggressive than you want to be as that guy's coming by you.
Well, and the Mavericks having just scored on a power play, UMD needs to come up with a big kill right now to keep it just a 2-goal deficit.
No doubt. Had a little life from the Mavericks here. I think that goal gave them a little bit of pop in their step and getting down to the goaltender and. Big, I think that one. I think Hillman there is going to wish he had that back, but I think it looks like it changed direction just a little bit on him. Not an easy one to move to.
Tracy comes well out of the net to take it away. Perosi knocked down, but played out to center ice and to the far side where Souter has it. Souter still in the zone. Mavericks set up on the power play. Perosi. Livingstone down out in front trying to feed Souter, but he lost the puck still in the zone. Perosi able to hold it temporarily. Mavericks still have it. Play it down low now for Orchard. Souter to the far side. Livingstone.
See Souter camped out there in the middle looking behind him. He's got Souter behind him. It's one of those touch plays he tried to make, and it Almost got there.
Sauter with a good look between the circles, but Stayskull has that save. And the Mavericks end. The Bulldogs will change their specialty units with 48 seconds left to go in the Maverick power play. 3:19 left in the second.
Just get a quick little play. We said that last week, and it was on the other side. So defensively, or on your backhand, defensively, it's a little bit easier to get to that and stop that. So trying to play it on the other side so Sauter can make that that one-time shot a little bit easier and get it to the net.
Carroll with the play down to Celia, who tried to control it with the skate and create an opportunity, but the Bulldogs converge. Carroll, Sandlin for Furry. Into the side of the net. Celia now tracks it down. Play to the far corner. Furry. Furry with Darian Goetz on him. Now Sandlin. Sandlin trying to feed the point for Carroll. And that'll do it for the remaining couple of seconds here as James is up ready to get back out onto the ice. And we'll be down to about 2.5 left to go in the second. Single tallies by Morton in each of the first 2 periods. And that's where we stand late in period number 2. Mavericks very deliberate as, again, James out of the box. So we're back to 5-on-5, and both teams taking their time to determine who they want to have out. Isley chips it into the zone, trying to feed the slot, but the Mavericks not able to make a play. And now Olsen. Olsen ahead for James with Hiroshi back. Shot wide. Hillman and Biondi are after it. Kicked out, but held in right at the line. Livingstone, Isley, Sauter trying to feed a breaking Pavel on the play.
So as we talked about last weekend, first 2 minutes, last 2 minutes period, big couple minutes here. Last night, Mavericks were able to get a couple goals late in periods, which I thought propelled them to start the next period again.
Scott Sandlin not real thrilled with that play. It's going to force the icing call on the long errant pass, breaking out with 1:11 left to go in the second. We think we're going to have an opportunity to talk to Sam Morton in the intermission.
Maybe he
here.
didn't want to talk to me. I'm not sure.
A little animosity there maybe lingering. I don't know.
You know, it's fun with the Maverick machine here. You know, that's one part of this.
Here comes the Mavericks. They just can't track it down as Borton along with Borchert were down low. Sykos with the shot that's blocked out in front, stunned Spicer, and here come the Bulldogs the other day with Howard, and that shot gets blocked, and the Mavericks turn it around the other way. They're bringing it to zone 3-on-3 with Sauter. Drop pass, Borchert with the big blast, and Stayskull will hold on for the save. You were talking about the Maverick marching machine?
The Maverick machine, you know, it's the atmosphere in this building. I remember, was it 7, 8 years ago? Hey, we're going to get a band back in the rink, and nobody knew what to expect because the pro game is, all music and hype, and they've really brought a different energy to this to the rink here, and created a real home ice advantage here with the machine.
Off the face-off, Furry plays it to the near side of the net. Furry again, now Celia. Roll still working for puck possession. Bertoloni now to the near side. Dupinski, lead pass for Milmuck. He's knocked down on the play. Grohl with it. Grohl dumps it into the zone, but he's tied up. Long lead pass ahead. Low height.
Knocked that one out of the air there, didn't he?
Again, yeah. That's obviously a big point in the contest. The fact his goal disallowed as it was played with a high stick. And the Mavericks after that come back, and a couple minutes later they got their second goal of the game by Morton, and that's the end of 2 periods of play. Shots on goal unofficially 13-12 in favor of UMD. Much different contest than last night. But still at this point, after 40 minutes of hockey, it's the Mavericks on top 2-0 from Mankato. Don Westfall and former Maverick defenseman, assistant coach Darren Blue back in the building. Mavericks on top 2-0. Goals tonight, each of the periods, and each of them scored by Sam Morton. One of them a power play tally. Mavericks being outshot tonight nonetheless by 13-12, two-period total. But boy, Darren, I tell you what, and it gets overlooked a lot, but face-offs, the domination continues tonight for the Mavericks right now after 2 periods of play, 22-10 on face-offs.
Yeah. You know, you're going to laugh. It's one of those things that, so I used to drop a lot of pucks after practice and have a lot of bruises on my shins to prove it. That I don't think it'll ever go away, but, you know, it's one of those, it's just a part of the game that, you know, creating possession, creating ownership of that puck. And the more you win, the more you're going to have the puck. And, you know, we talk about time of possession. Everybody talks about that as a stat in football, but it's definitely a stat in hockey, too.
Not sure what's going on as the officials are over to talk to both coaches. They've already talked to Scott Sandlin. Now Mike Hastings, in his 11th year, 3-time National Coach of the Year, getting the discussion. Whatever it was, we seem to be ready. And we're set to go here for the 3rd period of play. Mavericks again, 2-0. Looking for a weekend sweep after last night's 6-0 win. Our next broadcast here from downtown Mankato after the Mavericks travel to St. Cloud next weekend for a couple games with Huskies. As there's a chance for Hiroshi, and then feeds Borchert wide of the net. We're back in a couple weeks. We'll give you the times and the dates with Bowling Green. That one comes off a leg and into the corner where Souter has it. Back up on top for Hiroshi. Borchert gets stood up on the play. Furry still looking for his first point of the season. Livingstone sidesteps up the check of Olsen. Here's it down to the goal line behind the net. Still has it. Borchert. That one off the skate and Karam's out on top of the goal and sent out of the zone where Livingstone turns it around for Fitzgerald. Low angle shot there, but a good look nonetheless by Christian Fitzgerald that Stayskal makes the save on. Mavericks with Morton. There he's in. Morton with the shot. That's up off the shoulder. Still in the zone. Wheeler does a nice job to bring it down, but unable to control it for a shot. Fitzgerald with Dubinsky on him. Loney steps in for the Bulldogs, and now Carroll far boards behind the net for Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald gets pulled down by Loney. No call on the play. Up on top, it gets past Carroll, and the Mavericks are going to have to retreat and regroup. Carroll gets caught up with Wheeler on the play.
A little miscommunication there.
And a whistle.
You know what, that's it. The Mavericks can get down low, keep cutting back. I think you heard Jake Livingston kind of chuckle about the cutbacks in our interview after the first period, but it's one of those parts of the game that it's never easy, but it's a way to break that defenseman, kind of break their will, so to speak. And if you can keep cutting back, and you're hoping to get them to quit a little bit, give you a little space, and then you can make a play. So it's fun to see, when guys do that and what that leads to next.
UMD gets this face off, and Pierce drives it in the zone. Sykos chips it away. Dumped back in by Latterut. Sykos, Spicer on him. Grohl able to clear for Minnesota State. Takes it through some traffic, but then ridden out on the play. Picked up by Pierce, sends it rinked wide. It's a return feedback from Howard. Joey Pierce tees up a shot, and that's up high. Latterud able to force it into the corner, but Grohl will pick things up and carry for the Mavericks. Josh Grohl. Flipped out of the zone. Play the other way, but Howard gets knocked aside by Livingstone as they were both going after the puck. UMD fans would like to see an interference call on the play. Hillman off the skate of Pavel into the zone. Jocks unable to take it away from Isley. Now Hillman. Andre Pavel over skates the puck. Back to the point where Livingstone turns it aside. Rossi all the way out of the zone on a play by Livingstone, and Aaron Goetz is back. Loose puck, Pavel will play it into the zone. Pavel trying to create the turnover on the forecheck. Wheeler steps in along the board. Sauter, and we're going to get a penalty, and I think Pavel's going to go on a holding call. Not a great call with the 2-0 lead in the offensive zone, but he's going to go at 3:35.
Those are always tough when they're 190 feet away from your own net like that. And, I think he lost his stick. He might have grabbed the wrong one there at the end, but yeah, that's a tough one. And not only is it a tough one, that's one of your top penalty killers in the box too, top face-off guys. So again, you get Cilia and Grohl out here to start this penalty kill.
Cilia in for the face-off, trying to control things. After the scrum, Grohl will step into the play. You're wondering, last Maverick with a hat trick. Actually, it was Cilia from last January against St. Thomas. James into the zone for Olsen. Gallatin dumps it into the corner. But Biondi to the far side. Olsen and Gallatin will get there to the, oh, actually it skips over his stick, so the Bulldogs are going to have to clear. Dominic James into the slot, and there's a score. As Lohheit on a one-timer between the circles puts the Bulldogs on the board for the first time on the weekend. Wicked shot there from Lohheit. About 30 feet out in the slot, gets past Tracy, and the Bulldogs have cut this lead in half. Still trailing 2-1. See if we can get another look as we caught the tail end of that play. But again, the play from Olsen along the near boards just fed the slot perfect time, and Lohheit blasts one in at 4:22. Make it a 2-1 game.
Scoring for the Bulldogs on the power play at 4:22.
Power play tally with Pavel in the box. Gallatin and James assisting on that goal. Latterut. Milmock for Dubinsky. See if the Bulldogs can take a little bit of that momentum and build upon it. Morton. Morton now Sandlin. Mavericks with Wheeler. Ahead for Pavel. In the zone, Hillman steps in. Isley after it as well for the Mavericks. Carried out to center ice now by Isaac Howard. Howard poked away from him by Lohheit, picks it up. Spicer. Knocked back into the corner, Malinowski with it. Sykos will step in for Minnesota State. Played behind the net for Malinowski. Off the boards, looking to clear, and does. Aaron Goetz back to the play. Hillman. Rossi in his own corner with Pavel. Rink wide. Livingstone. Played ahead for Borchert. Goetz left off Kaiser. Headman pass to Bettens. Goes rink wide to the far side. Luke Johnson. Watched there by Sauter. Sauter, nice job defensively to come back and help out. Sends one out for Furry. Furry carries in, drop pass for Livingstone along the goal line, trying to center a play. Gallatin. Now Joey Pierce. Pierce will pick up and carry for the Bulldogs. They're into the zone. Off the skate, Sauter picks up the loose puck and will just flip it out to center ice with 13-15 left to go in the third. 2-1 after the goal by Lowhite on a power play tally. James gets upended on the play as he brings it into the zone, and now Carroll. Bellini for the Mavericks. He flipped out to center ice. Mavericks with Wilson, who carried in. He's ridden out by Olsen along the boards. Dominic James ahead for Biondi. Wilson's right there to turn it around. Josh Grohl moving through some defense into the corner where he lost the puck, and Biondi turns things around the other way for the Bulldogs. Played out. Hiroshi is there for Minnesota State.
You're on the Maverick side, Don, right now. You got to get down and play below the dots a little bit. Try and get in their end. Create a little pressure. Make it hard. Stress on the defenseman.
Morton. Fitzgerald. He and Sandlin come in. Sandlin with the quick shot that's saved. Played to the near side. Carter Loney. Lowhite over skates the play, and Fitzgerald controls for Minnesota State. Livingstone. A lot of back and forth right now, Darren, and that's kind of dangerous for the Mavericks. You don't want to get lulled into sleep here, and obviously they're not doing such, but there's just no consistency, no time in the zone.
Yeah. And, what a play there by Jake Livingstone, though. Taking that, seeing the guy with his head down, taking some ice away there on that. I think it was a 4-on-2 there for a second.
Isley behind the net. Out in front, Malinowski cheated in. Had a good look, but sends it wide on the near side. Now flipped out to center ice. Malinowski tied things up with Spicer. Isley will clean things up for the Mavericks. Sykos out of the zone. Francis will quickly turn things around and play the head. Pavel there for the Mavericks to nullify that opportunity into the zone. Carroll goes on the far side, played behind the net for Malinowski. Francis holds in at the boards. Howard trying to feed it out in front, and Pavel's there to clean up defensively for the Mavericks. Takes it into the corner and lifts one out to center ice. Francis is back there along with Gallatin. Carroll. Borchert still in the zone, so Bulldogs hold. Jakes with the shot that's blocked out in front up into the screen, and we'll take a break near the halfway point of the third period. Mavericks holding on to a 2-1 lead. See a look at the goal there as Lowhite just blasts one in on the one-timer coming into the zone on the power play. James and Gallatin assisting at 4:22. And a much different contest than last night, Darren. You look at the board, 2-1 score, shots on goal 15-14. Both teams 1 for 3 with the power play opportunity. It has been an even contest throughout.
Yeah, I think we talked before the game. I think everybody knew it was going to be a little bit different game tonight. That wasn't indicative of what a Bulldog team is. And, you know, Scott Sandlin's one of the coaches I have a ton of respect for. He's done an unbelievable job for year in, year out. And we knew it was going to be a different night tonight.
Borchert after it. James able to play along the boards for Biondi. By the way, if you think these youngsters here are fans of ours, Darren, they're actually just waiting for the money drop. So don't get too excited about that. We're not up for the autograph signing tonight. So
it's my neighbor. I don't know. He's trying to make me laugh or something. What's going on down here?
Livingstone. Celia carries through center ice for Wilson. Trying to feed it down low, and a great look. And there's no penalty on the play either. I thought, boy, Celia got upended on that one. They're going to wave it down with a whistle. And, wow. Wilson feathers a pass through some traffic.
Great little area play there by Wilson. And you know what I love? Both guys keeping their feet moving, getting to the backside, and being able to pass off the back heels of a guy to the far side. And again, coach loves to use the word stress, right? How do we stress their defensemen out? And when you have speed like that, that's stressful.
I have heard him say that a few times over the years, yeah. Wheeler. Carroll. Attempt in neutral ice gets turned around. Bulldogs back in the zone with Milmock. Fitzgerald steps in for the Mavericks for Wheeler. Carroll on the far side. Off the boards to Sandlin, and now Morton, and they're going to whistle that down with a hand pass. And Milmock and Sandlin talking things over a little bit. Face-off will come in front of the Maverick bench. Neutral ice area with 8:39 left to go in the third. We'll take a break as well. Still a 2-1 score as you're watching Maverick Hockey on Flow Hockey and KEYC Circle. JBL Real Estate Group has proudly served Greater Mankato since 2002. JBL has experts from Mankato to St. Peter, Lake Crystal to Fairmont and beyond. Thinking about buying or selling, the company to call is JBL Real Estate Group. 2-1 our score here, later stages of the contest tonight. Glad you're with us from downtown Mankato, where we're back in 2 weeks. Bowling Green in town to open up CCHA play in the Mavericks' defense of the regular season championship. But still work yet to do tonight in this non-conference tussle, looking for the sweep. Mavericks have won the last 5 straight against UMD. Nice job there by Grohl to get back carried into the zone, however. That was Dashke. Malinowski in the corner. Sykos ahead for Isley. Isley taken out by Dashke. Played ahead for Howard. Looking for a trailer, and Dashke with the skate at least keeps it in the zone. Bettens and Pavel tied up in the corner. Livingstone with a strong play to carry it out. An opportunity. Oh, they had Hillman breaking in along with, and now a nice play by Dubinsky, who gets back and forces the icing call.
Nice idea there. You had a couple guys breaking, just a couple feet in front of the maybe not even that, a few inches in front of our guy breaking down the middle, and we have a 2-on-1 break. But I thought a great little job there by Tony Malinowski there, holding onto the puck and not just throwing it away, giving it to the other team.
5,039 in the building tonight. That is the 29th largest crowd to ever see a game in the building, and it is the 4th largest crowd ever to see these two teams tangle in downtown Mankato. 7:20 left to go in the third. Mavericks again holding on to the 2-1 lead. Both goals from Morton, one in the first, one in the second, and then Lowhite on a power play tally, 4:22 here into the third to make it a 2-1 game. Johnson behind the net. Hiroshi. Livingstone. Back for Hiroshi in the long lead pass out of the board. Borchert there trying to tip it to Pavel, but it's turned around. Pavel. Livingstone for Borchert. Pavel will now carry. Pavel played into the corner for Johnson. Kyle Bettens left off now. James. Bettens puts one high over the goal. Furry chips it ahead for Sauter. Sauter trying to work around Binsky defensively, but he had broken it up on a nice play. Quinn Olsen is into the zone. Out in front for Biondi. It's chipped up high over the net. Biondi in the corner will leave things off where Furry picks it up. Sandlin. Carroll. He's tied up by James behind the net as we're inside 6 minutes remaining in the third. Played along the boards and out of the zone. Olsen, here's an opportunity down low for James, and he does not miss by much on the far side. Gallatin tees one up, and that's blocked by Wheeler. Sandlin will play it off the boards and out. Grohl trying to catch up to it along with Kaiser in front of the Bulldog bench.
See a little pace out of the Bulldogs here. A little desperation. When we say we get this point of the game, you're going to see a little extra. You're going to see a little push. You saw Gallatin down there below the hash marks in the offensive zone. You're going to have to make some good plays here, strong plays with pucks to get it out past them. And then again, try and get it down deep and play in their end. Still 5-on-5. Let's play in their end. Let's eat that clock. Let's get pucks to the net and try and extend that lead.
Livingstone again in the corner, as Darren mentioned. Bulldogs definitely playing with a little more urgency right now. Rubinski with the shot that's wide. Maybe looking for a carom off the back dasher. Hiroshi steps into the play. Hiroshi ahead for Fitzgerald. Now Morton. Morton just controls rather than give up the puck at neutral ice. Sam Morton in the zone. Low angle shot. There's an opportunity for Borcher, but he can't gather up the rebound in time.
Great play there off the far pad. Laying it right out in front of Borch. Almost finds a way to put it by the goaltender.
Malinowski for Sykos, who spins away from Spicer. Head for Celia. Celia between the circles, and that one's up high over the crossbar. Celia again with it behind the net. Now Souter along the boards. Malinowski down low. Oh, a great tip by Isley, still loose. And then it's swept aside by Gallatin. Malinowski again with it. Souter out in front trying to feed Isley. Boy, he just about tipped that one home with his back to the net. Here comes Latterwood the other way. Save made there by Tracy, played out in front, and before Latterwood can get there, Tracy covers up. And we got 3:37 left on the clock. We'll take our last break. Mavericks this close to opening the lead up, but it's still 2-1 in Mankato.
To the beat dance cam. Show off your best moves, and you could be featured on the video board.
I'm getting too into this game here. I gotta get into this part, not.
Is it easy to break away from the coaching kind of mindset?
Well, that's one of the things I have a hard time with. Like sometimes, like like I start watching and going, as the coaching side, not the what happened.
Yeah.
More like we need to do this or we need to do this, right?
Yep. I got to be. I mean,
catch myself a little bit.
Last night was cool, but I kind of like this. I mean, the closer games and their stuff, and there's. Mike Hastings and his Mavericks still about 3.5 minutes away from trying to close this one out tonight. Maverick Athletics would like to thank City Auto Glass for their continuous support of Maverick Athletics. We've seen some pretty good cracks on the ice tonight. If you've got a crack in your windshield, remember to call 345-CITY. Of course, that's down here in Mankato with the 507 area code. Mavericks win the draw and clear out to center ice with Johnson now back for UMD.
See both coaches there at the break trying to fine-tune a little bit. I'm sure both have talked about what do you do in this situation.
Here's a chance for the Mavericks, 2-on-1. Pavel for Furry, and there's a quick shot and a big save, and it might even have caught the pipe. Pavel tries to brings it out in front for Sandlin, but it's turned around. I think I heard a little bit of iron on that one.
I think you're right. You know, one of the things we always laugh about after a game like this, why'd you go to a defensive shell? Never.
Not the case tonight. It's just been a strong game between two of the top 5 teams in the country.
Yep. How do you, it's not anything we ever talked about trying to do.
Borchert the other way, and he had Pavel breaking down, but a nice job by Kaiser, who blocked that with a skate. Gallatin. And UMD pulls the goaltender with 2:40 left to go, down by just 1. They have the extra attacker in the zone. James down into the corner. Biondi to the far side. Souter will try to get there first. He'll just force it back behind the net into the corner. Still there. Carroll steps in to help out with Souter. Kaiser trying to bring it out. Biondi in there for UMD. Along with Olsen still behind the net. Carroll now forced along the near boards. James Trying to bring it back. Here comes Borchert, still loose as the Bulldogs holding. James sends one high over the crossbar. In fact, it goes up and out of the play. Mavericks were thinking about the open net, but could never gather up puck possession. Here's a good look. Furry taking the feed. And yeah, just caught the outside of the post. Again, stick with us after the game. Darren will have a chance to talk to Maverick head coach Mike Hastings. That's sponsored tonight by ISG, a long-standing teammate of Maverick Hockey and MSU. ISG is proud to design spaces that elevate the game for players and fans. Played to the near boards. Again, empty net right now for the Bulldogs. Mavericks would just like to clear the zone, relieve the pressure, which they do. Grohl takes a big hit from low height.
There's going to be a few of those here.
Livingstone. No. Morton looking for the extra goal tonight to give him 3, but it's played in. But then as actually Grohl would have been offside. Set back in, it's going to go just wide of the net by Sandlin. Low height with 1:19 left to go in the third. Bulldogs trail 2-1. Livingstone, they've had the extra attack with the empty net for about a minute and a half right now. Here comes Sauter with the puck. He'll get it out of the zone, race for the puck. Furry gets there first to nullify icing. Great play. Good hustle. He has it in the corner. Oh, Dashel. Celia in the corner, still just trying to hold the zone as the net is empty. It's going to be played all the way down, but the Mavericks are cool with this because it's just going to take more time and, in fact, bring about an icing call. So Stayskull is going to have to come back into the nets for UMD with 46.3 left.
It's a great read by Brendan Furr to get up the ice and negate that icing call. When you think of that from a face-off back in their own end, down a guy to a face-off now in the Duluth end, you got to put your goalie back in.
Mavericks right now trying to decide where they want the face-off, especially at this point. I know the guys have been in for about a month, but I don't know if they're still in like mid-season. You know, it's been a hard-fought weekend series, especially here this contest tonight, and so fatigue's starting to set in just a bit.
No doubt, and that's what Coach talked about earlier when he talked about the 2-goal lead. And, you know, at this time of year, it's not easy, right? You're not in January, February game shape.
Mavericks trying to get the draw, but it's won by the Bulldogs. They'll bring it down, and Stayskull ready to get out of the nets, which he does. Livingstone gets back there first. Still in the corner, flipped out to center ice. Sandlin trying to get there, played back by Biondi. 30 seconds left in the game. Almost caromed off the boards in the net, but Olsen got there first.
Strong play by Livingstone down there in his own end.
James to the far side for Olsen. Somebody's lost a stick on the ice, and I can't tell. It's one of the Mavericks. Livingstone, yeah, without a stick. Picked up and sent down by Hiroshi. Another race for the puck as Sandlin gets there, but not ahead of Kaiser, so it'll be an icing call. Clock is still rolling, so they're going to have to go back and put more time up on the clock. This one's going to take just a little bit of time to determine how much time they want to put back up on the clock. Fisher still talking it over.
Big face-off here. This is where that timeout earlier in the game.
Yeah, Bulldogs used their timeout earlier in the contest on the challenge. And the Mavericks obviously might want to think about it because even though it's an icing, they can take timeout and get exactly who they want in the center dot.
I think the Bulldogs are appreciating the score clock running down and getting a little chance here to set something up and talk about it.
Celia's been pretty good on the draw tonight along with Pavel. At least after our report, after 2 periods of play, they both had won a large majority, 80%. And now Latterwood coming over to talk things over with Sandlin. Officials are saying they're not allowed to do that, even though they're still on the ice, as we're still trying to figure this out. And I don't even know if things are synced up in terms of like a replay, if they can go to that to determine how much time is left on the clock.
I'm not sure. That's
5.7 is what they're going to throw up there, and that's obviously a big difference from where it was at 1.8. I don't know if Sandlin and the Bulldog staff is pleased with that or not. Apparently not, because they're and now the Mavericks are going to take the timeout for the extra time, but probably more importantly to get exactly who they want on the ice, although Pavel is out there to take the face-off. I don't know Coach Hastings would elect at this point. And now they actually are going to come in, and I think maybe they do have the opportunity to look at it because
well, they've already said it. That'd be interesting if they changed it now.
But one of the officials is in looking at a replay monitor, and I would think at this point that's kind of the only thing they might be looking at.
We'll see one upset bench if it changes.
And it's only the second weekend of the home season. We've already had the Gophers in the building. We're down here to just a few seconds left in this one. We haven't even started conference play, Derek.
I know.
This is what it's all about.
Exactly. And this is, these are the kind of learning experiences that help you as you get down the road, because we know how many goals or how many games are one-goal games as we move on down the season. And a face-off right here with, we think 5.7 seconds left on the clock is a big face-off. A little pressure on that guy on the dot, right? Like, let's just get it to the outside. If we can get that to the wall, you should be able to kill 5.7 seconds.
And we're back in a couple of weeks. The 28th and 29th of October as Bowling Green comes into the building to take on the Mavericks to open up conference play. Then the Mavericks the following weekend, first weekend in November, are home and home with St. Thomas. So they did put some more time up. Yeah, they got a little more, another second plus, so almost 7 seconds on the board. And now Mike Hastings, he's not real thrilled about it. He's got to get his save, but Celia is out for the draw along with James. Mavericks get the draw win by Celia. They're just going to keep it down in the corner as long as they can. Celia's down there. Low angle shot. Tracy makes the save, and the Mavericks get the 2-1 win and the sweep of UMD. Fantastic game tonight. As much as 6-0 last night was fun, this one truly went down to the wire, and it's even across the board. 2-1 Mavericks score. Shots on goal unofficially, 17-16 in favor of the Mavericks. But in the end, the Mavericks with a 2-1 win over UMD. We'll take a break and come back with Coach Hastings. Don Westfall back in downtown Mankato's Mayo Clinic Health System Event Center, where the Mavericks has just completed a 2-game sweep over number 4 UMD tonight, a score of 2-1 after last night's 6-0 win. Mavericks tonight, a much different contest. We knew it would be. We knew we'd get a much stronger effort from UND, and the Bulldogs supplied that. Goals by Morton, his second and third of the season. Second, a power play tally gave the Mavericks a 2-0 lead after 2. Lowhite got the Bulldogs on the board for the first time on the weekend, back at 4:22 here of the third. That was a power play tally, but again, as we were talking about before we went out to the break, scoreboard's about as even as you can get. Shots on goal, 17-16 Mavericks. Both teams 1 for 3 with the man advantage. And again, the big difference, maybe even that last faceoff. The Mavericks dominant this weekend in the faceoff circle. They needed a draw at the end. Celia got it and put it into the corner, and that took off the remaining 7 seconds of the contest. And the Mavericks, so again, were able to come up with a 2-1 win. So they move now to 3-1 on the season with the weekend sweep here of UMD, and they travel next weekend to St. Cloud to take on the Huskies on a Friday and Saturday game up at the National Hockey Center in the Granite City before coming back to take on Bowling Green in a couple of weeks, and we'll be back for that one as well. Darren will be with us for the Saturday night game, and of course looks like Andy Hedlund will be back on Friday night. So we're still setting things up here with our post-game show, and Coach Mike Hastings, 3 stars of the game being announced. Kito Hiroshi, the number 3 star, the number 2 star. Actually, Hiroshi, the number 2 star. Sam Morton, of course, tonight with 2 goals, the number 1 star, and a big night as well for Alex Tracy, who after last night's shutout performance comes back and just gives up 1 goal tonight. And again, he gets the win in the nets for Minnesota State. We are set downstairs, so we'll send it over to Darren Blue, who is with Maverick head coach Mike Hastings.
Coach Hastings, Darren Blue here. Congratulations.
Thanks, Bowie. That's That's a big one. That's one that'll continue to give throughout the year. They're going to win a lot of hockey games, so
Yeah.
it's good to get the sweep.
No doubt. A little bit like we said last week, there's a lot of skill on that ice on that team, and I thought you guys did a great job negating that, taking away some time and space.
You know what? I thought the guys did a really good job. It just, at this time of the year, and Blue, you've been through it, those Saturday games until you get into back-to-back shape, they can get a little ugly, and that's kind of what today's game was. Just found a way to get it to 2. Took an undisciplined penalty, and it cost us, but I really liked the way the guys bucked up from that point on when we gave up the first one to get us the second win.
No doubt. You talked about the first goal before the game. You talked about the 2-goal lead. You talked about the guy between the pipes. You got all 3 of those, and you're able to find a way to get that win. And, I thought you guys, although it was a tight start, I thought it was a good start.
Yeah, I'd agree with you there, Bluey. For us to go back-to-back weekends, one with a goaltender that played 2 games, starting his sophomore season, but only playing a couple of games previously in Rancier, and then to have Tracy come in and throw up a goose egg all the way through, really 100 minutes, and then just give one on the weekend. Hopefully that bodes well for those guys' confidence. I like the way the guys played in front of them.
No doubt. And Sam Morton, I thought, continued a great weekend. Last night, I can't say I was studying the game. As I was watching bits and pieces, I felt like he had the puck on his stick all night, and tonight he finds a way to put a couple in. Backhand, one off, a great job picking up a puck off his skate and putting it in, and I thought he had a great night tonight for you.
You know what, we've needed some of those guys to step up, and I just thought, between him, I thought Furry played one of his best games tonight, rang one off the post. And then really you've got to give a lot of credit to the defensive core, and 2 and 23 have just really elevated their game. We've asked them to play major minutes. They've done that. They've been successful offensively as well as defensively, and they've carried us back there. So it's a huge weekend for us, and hopefully the guys can feel good about that today, tomorrow, and then get back to work on Monday.
Well, great win. Congratulations. Enjoy it, and best of luck preparing for another rough one, another tough one next week. Go on the road and face a good St. Cloud team next week. So congratulations, as we say. Enjoy them, and look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks a lot, Bluey. Take care. Thanks to all the people for coming out here and making this place as difficult as it is to have those visiting teams come and play. This is a pretty special place when we have it full, so we appreciate everybody that took the time to come and watch us play.
Great point. Fun building.
Thank you.
All right, that's Maverick head coach Mike Hastings talking about the over 5,000 in the building tonight to see this one. And again, the Mavericks get the 2-1 win. We'll take a quick look at some of the highlights before we close out the broadcast. And again, a big night for Sam Morton.
As we get going here, a couple early that we talked about, there weren't a lot of shots on net, but there were some chances. And there you see Sam Morton burying that backhand.
Tracy saw a little bit more action tonight. Here's an opportunity by Sauter out in front. That was the big shot there by James in the second. And there was a big play right there that negated the goal by Lowhite. And just a few minutes after that Lowhite opportunity, the Mavericks are going to come back. There's the shot by Lowhite that actually counts. And here's a look for Furry down low. That one clanked off the post. Morton again with a big night, 2 goals, the senior from Colorado. And Darren, it was a hard-fought win, but a really good sweep for MSU this weekend.
What a great game tonight. We knew it wasn't going to be easy. We knew it was going to be a lot tighter, and that was a great battle. And to find a way at the end, find a way to win there at the end of 1-goal game is going to pay dividends down the road.
Our next broadcast, as we mentioned, we're back here in 2 weeks, the 28th, 29th of October, when the Mavericks are back to open up CCHA play against Bowling Green. But tonight it was a 2-1 win to close out the weekend sweep over UMD. For the students from Bethany Lutheran College and Darren Blue, I'm Don Westfall. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in 2 weeks from Mankato.